All right, good afternoon, everyone. Let's take a look and see what is going on with Bitcoin. So, taking a look at our daily, we are now underneath our weekly open, at least when it comes to 5 o'clock on Sunday. We did have, I believe we had, let's see, where are my lines at? Let me pull up the right chart here. Let's see, the Bitcoin chart. There we go. Okay, perfect. All right, so we have the weekly open was around, I want to say it was around 63,495. I measured it. That was the Monday midnight weekly open. So we are staying above that. We're below the weekly open as far as Sunday at 5 o'clock. So not the best sign. We did have a very strong wick to the downside. We had a lot of good, basically buying pressure that brought us back up, a lot of bots that bought. So we just kind of had a fake out with that golden cross on the 4 hour. Taking a look at our 12 hour. So our 12 hour is also showing resistance. So everything is showing resistance at the top of this order block right here around 963, 940. Not the best sign, but we could be consolidating for a bit before we get the bigger move up. We have to just wait and see what happens. My only concern at this point when it comes to, the market for the bulls is I really didn't want for us to hit weekly open and trade above it today. I really was hoping that we would kind of collapse and then stay down here, make some sort of pattern, and then come back up and slowly, for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to possibly make that high of the week. But I really do not like the fact that we did this really massive move today on a Monday. Kind of is sketchy in my opinion. So the thing that the Bulls have going for them, and this is I'm getting contradicting information. This is what's hard is that you got a golden cross on the 4 hour, and I was telling you guys about that. I got stopped out unfortunately because it wanted to wick down extreme right to an extreme level. But I really just when you get a golden cross, it really tells you, especially on a bigger time frame, it tells you that a bigger move is coming in. Usually, when you get it on a bigger time frame, it's expected that it's going to go up the remainder of the week. Now that being said, I don't like the tweezer top on, or it was on the daily, I believe even. Yeah, I don't like how this is forming. The 12 hour is not looking great. 8 hour is not looking great. 4 hour is meh. It's okay. The 1 hour is okay. It looks like we got to come back down here. So I would look to see us. Let's see. Let's kind of change this up here if I can. It's the only thing about using the magnet tool. Let me get rid of it real quick. So I'm looking at something about right here. Yeah. So I would look for this order block to be respected. Maybe coming down here. Let's see where our fib level is. So maybe from this one. Yeah, so somewhere in the, it looks like around 62.4. We'll write that down here, but let me move, I'm gonna move this red line up to 62.4 and we'll look for that to basically maintain 62.414. So watch that level and let's see what that shows on our liquidity map here, but I would look for maybe a retracement down here since we had such a massive move up. We're gonna have to fill some of this, unfortunately. So let's see, 15-minute, getting that rollover looks like a head and shoulders. So, you have your shoulder. It probably looks better on the smaller time frame. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. So that's probably going to drop down. Could take us to that level. And I would probably be looking for an entry here and see if it holds. If it doesn't hold, then we can possibly drop down into that 60 range I was talking about earlier. So this front ran my area, which was frustrating, but it is what it is. I really don't know what. I guess there was just enough liquidity right there to take out, which was interesting. Because there's no real fib pull. I guess if you maybe pulled from there, that tiny little wick right there. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, nothing amazing here. Yeah, it's just been a very tough. I mean, there's been a lot of action, right? But it's an extremely tough day to trade this. It's not like it's been clear cut. It's bounced off of some random 786 level that wasn't even expecting, and then it came back up. It's testing this, took out this liquidity up here. So now is it going to come down, take some of this out, or is it going to take out this low and resume down to where I was targeting? There's a lot of questions up in the air right now. I would say for right now, though, unless, my line in the sand is this, all right? Unless we break the 4-hour 200, we have to maintain bullish for the week. I'm going to tell you that right now. So you can see how this order block right here, basically directly aligns with almost the middle of it directly aligns with the 200. So I would be watching this very closely. I do think that, we could potentially get a bounce somewhere in here, but if we were to lose this 4-hour 200, then you can expect more downside. So I would call this middle area right here, around 62,494, 62,4 to 62,494. I would call that kind of my line in the sand for right now. And then if we lose that, we're gonna probably just keep going down for the week. So we have to stay above this 4-hour 200. Okay, that's going to be extremely important. Let's go ahead and take a look, that being said, at the liquidity. So 62,414. We'll remember that. 62,414. Let's see how that lines up. So taking a look at our 1 hour. All right, let's see. Let me take off some of this here. So we have some at 62,140. Nothing really, let me go back and not aggregate this here. So 62,560. So this could be the target right here. Let's see, do we have, yeah, we have it 62,560 it looks like. So that's kind of close to the top of that order block. So I would be watching that level in the meantime, just to see if we get a bounce off of that. Not a guarantee that we will, but we're gonna have to hold that if we want to maintain bullish behavior for the week, staying above that 4 hours. So I'm gonna look for potential, depending on what time it gets to this point. I might look for a potential long off of that little liquidity area. So I would be targeting between 62,400 and 62,600, basically, to put it simply. So those are the levels I'm looking at on the smaller time frames. You can see that on our our order book map here, we can see that we have some orders at 62.9. And then we have some, unfortunately, down here to 60,795, so 60,800 around there. So that was the area I was originally targeting this morning. So there's a good possibility, guys, that we could just free fall down here too. I mean, we don't have to necessarily get a good follow through, and timing wise, I just don't like the way that we started this week. I really don't. I don't like the fact that we pumped, part of Sunday, we came down partially, then we came back up, and now we're above weekly open on a Monday, and we have, what, another 6 days to go practically before that closes. So it's just not, timing wise, it's just not the best for the Bulls. I'm gonna be honest. I was hoping that that would happen tomorrow, not today. Um, but anyways, that being said, it really is going to depend on, like I said, if we are in a more bullish environment, then it's definitely possible that we could just keep on slowly moving our way up. It just doesn't seem likely the type of market we've been in. You can see there's some red liquidity up here. You can see there's some red down here. This aligns with these orders right here. So this all aligns with these orders. That could definitely be possible. But anyways, yeah, I'm not going to trade this, especially, it would be a great entry for a short, but it's high risk because you have all of this right above you as well. So this could just rip out of nowhere. Do a head and shoulder type of, look, and then it could just rip and reverse. But it's gonna be, honestly, I'll probably I'll keep you guys updated in Sin City Crypto, but I'll probably, if anything, only look for longs. And I will watch that 62.6, 62.4 area, but it's just not looking great right now because of the fact that, like I said, our time is kind of off for Monday. So that's what I'm seeing as far as trading different. The liquidity heat map goes. And then of course our order book. Let's go ahead and take a look at the simple map. Um, so simple map. All right. So our simple map shows that we have some 100x to lead us up, not that much unfortunately, but we do have a little bit of a pathway to lead us up on our smaller time frames to this upper liquidity starting at around 64,000. But we also have some 100x quite a bit built up below, right below us. And again, like we've said before, guys, this is extremely low volume. We're less than 1 million in orders per one of these little bars here. So um, it can really be taken either way. You'd think logically that they would want to take this out first, but that's very rarely the case where logic is involved. It's more so based off of people's emotions and wrecking them. So um, honestly, I could see it drop, go down into the 62 range, 60-ish range, and then come back up. And then obviously on your swing time frame, you have these bars right next to us. But again, it's just not looking great. This is like it would be an uphill battle to take some of this out. There's obviously some more liquidity above us, but again, we're kind of at a standstill with that. It's easier to take out some of this, it looks like. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. Ideally, what I'm going to plan on, what I want to see is I want to see either a stop at 62.4 or we go down to 60,008, we stop there, and then we launch. I don't want to see us getting back into the 50s or fully losing the 4 hour 200 because if we lose the 4 hour 200, then there's a good chance that we are going to get back into the 50s, especially if we get a death cross on the 4 hour 200. So you want to see us at least, if we do close a candle below that point, we don't want to get a death cross because then that will take us into this 50s area probably. So, just some things to think about, guys. That's what I'm seeing in the market for the remainder of the day. Again, I will be keeping you guys updated if I see anything different, but it's just not. It's gonna be very hard to tell for right now until we get some sort of clear indication that there's a bottom or there's a top. Because right now it's not really showing it. So, anyways, guys, that is what I have for you. Again, if you guys ever want to use the Trading Different tools, my code is Sean. You'll get 10% off. So tradingdifferent.com/code/Sean to get your 10% off discount off of there. So anyways, guys, that's what I have for you for today. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.